No
we're
break
not
this
doing
week.
intro?
Oh shit.
Play the
Yeah.
Come on, Mark. Act like
Yeah.
you've been there before.
Yeah, I fucked up. All right, here's the intro, guys. Enjoy.
So I'm going to chalk that up to you being completely sleep deprived.
Yes.
Is that fair, or am I giving you way too much leeway?
No, that is fair. Hold on. I'm losing my fucking mind because okay. Sorry, I had to fix something. Yes, I am on little to no sleep in the last week. Actually, I got some good sleep last night, so I can't really make an excuse of it. But yeah.
Is no one just being a dick or what?
I'm just sleep deprived. It's all right though.
Just because you're up all night playing COD or what?
Warzone is addicting.
No, it isn't, dude. That game is trash.
No, it's so addicting.
Like 2 weeks.
We should play GTA tonight. Just a thought.
I was gonna fucking suggest that. Did you download it?
I can. It would probably take about 30 minutes, but I can definitely do that.
Yeah. You absolutely should. We've been heisting all week. Me and Brick and Frank and Will and a couple other people in another Discord. We've been having so much fun, dude. It's actually a really good time. The game still takes a really long time to load up sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
I think my dog's coming down, but because it's like a 5-6-year-old game and it's just the servers are overloaded right now because everybody got the game for free, but it's so much fun. It's so cool. Absolutely should heist all night.
So do you have that going right to your like your SD, like your main drive?
No, it's on my backup, my mechanical drive, but I mean that doesn't affect the load times. It's mostly like their servers that suck. Like guys I know that I'm playing with that have unbelievable rigs, PCs have still this like same load times. So there's my nerd talk. Are you still playing COD? I feel like I need to if you're still playing COD.
Kind of. It all depends if like people jump on. But I have been playing solo. Solos is kind of fun, but I also suck. So
you need a fucking intervention.
Yeah. Solos, I got down to top 10 for the first time last week, and it was crazy. It was crazy.
Were you hiding in a bush?
Kind of, yeah. Just hiding in a bush and camping out the whole time.
So you mentioned it. Brick is in the mountains doing peyote all weekend or some shit. He actually sent me his notes for this movie because he liked it so much. Spoiler alert, and I will relay those later on. Pace. He was very upset there was no mention of Italy, but we'll get to that later. Let me do the mental health check. Like the weather is starting to turn a little bit. It's getting nicer out in Chicago. We've gone from sunny and the nicest day of the year to storms, and then back to sunny, and then back to storms. Right now it's pouring. So what are you up to?
I have been I've made 2 trips to Home Depot in the last day to get rock, soil, and I'm doing a lot of landscaping shit in the backyard because I started leaking water. There was seepage coming through my basement, and I just YouTubed everything that could be causing it, and it looks like I need to just raise the soil closer to my house. So boring ass short story of it. Yeah, it's definitely dad life, man. Having a house now.
That is an absolute nightmare though, like getting water in your basement. You need to move your downspouts like further away from your house.
Yeah. We did all that.
Get some batteries. I was actually probably at Home Depot while you were there. I was also there twice today. I had to get my grill up and running. Which
crazy there.
It is. They're like you're in line outside, which I'm fine with. Like that means that they're actually adhering to maximum capacity, and they still go in there, and there are people who pull their masks down off their face in order to talk to somebody, usually on the phone. I'm just like, what the fuck are you even doing here? It's just like the stupidest fucking people on the planet. We live in an area where I don't know. I feel like English is like the backup language, and I don't say that to mean like, I don't know. It's mostly Eastern European. Is that fair?
Yeah.
So
I guess
most of those people that I see are like disregarding masks, and that's anecdotal, obviously, but it just seems that every time I see somebody with like their mask down over their mouth only and not covering their nose, that they're speaking something that sounds like they're a terrorist in like in the 80s movie.
That's hilarious. When yeah, I saw like 3 people with the mask just like right over their mouth, but not covering their nose, and I'm like, all right, whatever.
Cool, thanks. Yeah, thanks.
I don't know. I don't know if it's like, I don't know if it's stupidity. I'm going to give them the benefit of the doubt that they just really are not starting to care, because Chicago's going to be in. What's up?
I think it's just a lack of giving a shit.
Yeah, and there's already a bunch of states that are. Kelly's sister, they just flew to like South Carolina, basically, and they were out at a bar today, and there were a shit ton of people in this bar. Same thing with Scottsdale. I was looking at some guy's Snapchat, and he was at like El Jefe in Scottsdale, and the bar was packed. So I don't know. Chicago's going to be one of the last to actually open up, and I just feel like gradually more and more people are just going to stop giving a shit.
Well, we were kind of hit the third hardest, I think, behind New York City, LA, and then Chicago. Mayor Lightfoot is saying like first week in June that they're going to start letting people into restaurants and bars and shit. But man, I don't know about you, but I'm not comfortable going anywhere right now. Like to a restaurant, like imagine if you have to go to the bathroom. How clean do you think that bathroom is?
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I'm kind of getting over it as well. Like I'll be respectful of, you know, wearing a mask around people, but me personally, I'm not as fearful about catching it. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't respect. And I actually think I had it, to be honest. So
okay, so that's why you think you're not fearful. Like that's why you're not fearful of it, is because you think you already had it.
Well, it's a combination of that and just the amount of time that this has been going on. And the more that you're stuck in your house, and the way I've been acting these past couple of weeks compared to like how I was acting like 2 months ago, it's, I don't know. I'm just kind of getting over it
because you're bored now.
Pretty much.
I don't think that's how this works, Mark.
Pretty much.
Am I going to have to come over there and like shove your head into a toilet, or?
I don't know, man. It just seems to me like this is getting more of just people are using it for political gain now, or just trying to fucking, it's a dick measuring contest within politics. And I don't know.
To what end? Like dick measuring contest on which side do you think? Who's trying to measure their dick, or is it everybody?
I think with the state we live in, I think Pritzker is really trying to. He's going to be one of the last people to open up, because my personal opinion, I think he's trying to go bigger than just governor. So I think him fucking up with coronavirus and opening up too early, that's the last thing he wants. And I just think
the last thing that any governor of any state wants, though, like to minimize the, like Chicago was one of the hardest hit cities in the entire world. So when that's your largest contingent of not only voters but citizens, I feel like, and I'm not saying that he's done everything perfectly at all. I don't know. I'm just playing devil's advocate, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It's hard, because at the same time you see all the hospitals are doing much better from an inside source. I mean, I talk to Kelly every day about this, and they are doing better. You hear the stories about the capacity of hospital, like they're not even filling up anymore. Like there's less people in a lot of hospitals now, certain ones, not talking about like Northwestern downtown, but there's a lot less people in hospitals in general than there were before this even happened.
But that's a great thing. Like that means that we did well.
Yes. I don't know. Hearing things like that. I mean, what's your take on it? I think there's my personal opinion. I think we can, dude, I'm getting the worst echo and I can't even fucking talk. My personal opinion is I think you have to be respectable of, like, you know, you're elderly and being around people that may not be able to fight off this virus. But at the same time, people need to go back to work eventually. You need to this flower shop that my mom's been going to for the last 50 years just closed its doors. I'm not going to say that the main reason was coronavirus, but there's a good chance that it was. In this
probably was the main reason.
This old store owner, this old lady that's had this business forever, was fucking bawling to my mom when she was picking up the last bouquet of flowers that she'd ever get from this person. So it's like, I don't know. There needs to be, I don't know what I'm getting at.
I'm not saying you're wrong, and obviously the economy is suffering, but at a certain point, you're putting people's lives behind monetary gain. And this is getting way too political for this podcast because we're idiots.
Yeah.
Like, we shouldn't be talking about this whatsoever, but I know that there's going to be a second wave unless there's a vaccine that's very soon. And I'm thinking probably not until at least January, we're going to have an ethical vaccine. I'm not a scientist, but that's what I've read. So I don't know, like, how many people are you willing to sacrifice just so a flower shop can open? And it sucks. It's terrible that this woman has to close her flower shop. That's awful. It's probably been her life's work. But at the same time, somebody gets laid off, they are looked at like they're less than, you know, like they're looked at like they're not trying hard enough to go get a job. Meanwhile, 38 million Americans are out of work right now, which is an obscene amount. It's more than 10% of the population. And that's not including people, you know, under 18 who can't get a job or retired or aren't trying to get a job. That's the active workforce. Like, that's a lot of fucking people. Like, I guess and he's just mooching off of unemployment right now.
Yeah, I guess my question to you would be, if there is in fact a second wave that comes, what's dude, this echo is so fucking bad. I might need to stop and refix
You're good.
it.
You're good.
What is the difference from, okay, let's say that the second wave happens. If we hold off and then gradually people start going back out into public and so on, don't you think no matter what, there's always going to be a few people out there that still have the virus? And then once people start going back into population, like, what's to stop the virus from spreading again? What's the purpose of holding off longer when, in my eyes, it's inevitable that the virus is going to be out there no matter what? Like, we're not going to completely get rid of this thing.
That's a valid point. Now what you're talking about is what's referred to as herd immunity. So herd immunity says that if enough people already have the antibodies in their system, then the virus can't keep hopping from person to person. And eventually the herd, which is us in this case, stops having hosts where the virus can replicate. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So in the beginning, the initial push was to flatten the curve, which everybody said it and everybody, you know, talked about flattening the curve, whatever. That was just to not overwhelm hospitals. And for the most part, we did that, which is great, but we also still have the most cases in the entire world. The United States does, which we're probably like third or fourth most populous country in the world. So that kind of makes sense. But also we're larger geographically and we're more spread out. But anyways, the second wave would be less than, because you assume that more people have the antibodies in their system until the virus mutates, at which point we're all fucked anyways. We'll probably get hit by a meteor. And why are we even talking about this? We're supposed to be a movie podcast.
Yeah. I don't know. I think our opinions are a little bit different. That's fine. I just think
I'm not shitting on you at all. I'm giving you my opinion.
Yeah. I'm good with that. And I'm actually going to try to fix this headphone issue real quick. Give me a second.
Okay. While you're doing that, my biggest concern, honestly, is, I mean, not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is obviously getting the virus, and, you know, somebody I love gets the virus. My parents are retired. They're in that age range where, you know, bad things would happen to them. My mom is, you you know, she's got pre-existing conditions, so that's obviously my main concern. My second largest concern outside of the actual virus is for the next 10 years, we're going to be getting these fucking news sources that are trying to get clicks and trying to get people to watch. And they're going to call it COVID-20 and COVID-21 and COVID-22. And they're going to say, oh, this is the next big thing that's going to kill everybody. When in reality, it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf. Like there may be something that's as serious as this, but what they're going to do is play up everything where it's the end of the fucking world, when in reality, it'll probably be lesser than all of this shit. And Wubby says EA Sports COVID-22. Yeah, that's actually a decent joke. Maybe we should transfer to our D&D game, because that's way more interesting. And also we're way more qualified to talk about that than an actual epidemiology.
100%.
We had a lot of fun in our D&D stream this week. We're doing our campaign that is Descent into Avernus. Joe, our DM, at Pull the Lever DM, he's an excellent dungeon master, and if you want to check that out, you can check out our Twitch or YouTube channels. We've been doing it every Wednesday night. I'm hoping we can keep that up. That'd be good. I'm pointing this out. I thought of this because Will was playing a character named Gib, who was a wizard who sucked, and he died in our campaign this week. And that's pretty much it. I just wanted to point out that he died. He probably deserved it. No? Are you done fucking with your computer yet?
No, I'm not done.
I hate to say this, but I feel like we need Brick right now, and that is the most painful thing I've ever had to say.
We do.
How about I just transfer into the news?
News to us. Boop.
Great. So, Mark, I'm going to carry this while you fix your shit. We got some trailers. Are you good?
No. Hold on.
I'll just keep going. So we had a trailer for a movie called The Old Guard, which is starring Charlize Theron, coming to Netflix on July 10th. And this actually seems like a big budget blockbuster type movie. So Charlize Theron is leading up this group of mercenaries. She is technically the oldest of them, quote unquote. They're immortal, and some old dudes are trying to steal their genes, their genetic code, so that they can replicate this and turn them into soldiers or some shit like that. This is based on a book by Greg Rucka. So if you know comics, you know Greg Rucka. He was mostly, at least from my knowledge, he was mostly behind like the Immortal Hulk and some of the older Hulk stuff that was really good. So Greg Rucka is an amazing artist, writer, whatever. I have not read this book, The Old Guard, but also this is probably something that we're going to review when it actually comes out, and it's coming to Netflix. So looks okay. I'm kind of iffy on what the actual plot of this is. So Mark, when you actually figure your shit out, you can jump in. Otherwise I'll just pontificate. But we know that Charlize Theron can do like fight choreography from Atomic Blonde. She was amazing in that. I have no doubt that she can keep that up. She's excellent as far as that goes. It's like John Wick level stuff. You know, she's an excellent gun fu type person. So that'll be interesting to see. I didn't recognize any of the other actors in this, but again, we're really starved for movies right now, so I'm definitely in for this.
Yeah, is she the best female character for an action movie?
Michelle Rodriguez was that for a long time, even though she was playing like the same thing. You know, like think all the Fast and Furious movies, she was just like this same person, just like, no, I'm one of the guys, but also I can shoot people.
Yeah.
But as far as choreography goes, I mean, I can't think of a bigger name that does it better. I'm sure that there are, you know, stunt women out there that are doing it way better than she is, but you don't see their actual acting.
Yeah, I like the trailer from what I saw. I caught you like midway there, and my speakers are still fucked up, but I'm trying to push through it. Yeah, I'm going to go see this wherever it may be, in the theater, at home. So
it's coming to Netflix.
Netflix? Okay.
Are you familiar with the book at all?
No, I've never even heard of the book. This is the first time I've heard of this story.
But you know Greg Rucka?
Yes. Yeah.
So, I mean, he's done good stuff, and I assume that this is going to, like, Netflix wouldn't throw a bunch of money at this because it looks like they did as far as the effects go, at least from the trailer. So they wouldn't do that if they weren't anticipating that people were going to like it.
Yeah.
Same thing, kind of like Extraction. Like, they threw a shitload of money at it because they thought people were going to love it, and they did. So, all right, we got a second trailer for Tenet. And again, we learn absolutely nothing that is going on. This is either going to be Inception level brilliant, or it's going to be Interstellar level stupid. Which side
you really
are you
didn't
on?
like Interstellar?
I liked Interstellar up until the ending. Then you lost me with the entire bookshelf stuff, and that's where you lost me. I'm worried that this is going to go more of the bookshelf style.
I don't think so, because I told you like a few episodes ago, I saw like a 15-minute. They showed a 15-minute preview of Tenet for some movie before COVID was going on when I was in theaters. Last time they did it, I feel like they did that with The Dark Knight Rises with the whole Bane and the airplane scene. They did that for a theater preview as well, where they showed like 10 minutes of it. But Tenet was that. The trailer, the 15-minute one that I saw, it was, you see in this new trailer where they're in like that opera house kind of setting with the huge crowd of people. There's
passed out.
Yeah, you had no idea what was going on. Nobody still knows what's going on by these last two trailers that have come out. To my knowledge, we talked about this last episode or two episodes ago. It's not time travel. It's what I think Christopher Nolan is calling inversion, where you're still going back in time, but you're not just going from one point in time backwards to another point. You're actually going backwards.
No, that's stupid. It's time travel. If you are altering
not according to Nolan.
I don't fucking. Him and Robert Pattinson, they both said no. There's no time travel. You're literally altering the timeline. That is time travel. Look, I'm gonna watch this, and I'm probably gonna really like it. I love John David Washington, who is the star of this. Robert Pattinson is backing him up as like a side character. This is, as far as Warner Brothers hopes, this is going to be like the first major theatrical release as far as going back to the theater. And it's going to depend, obviously, state by state. In the South or in Arizona, they're probably going to open sooner. But they are fully planning on releasing this on July 17th. And
they haven't changed that.
To see whether that actually happens. This is a movie that Warner Brothers would absolutely not sell to a streaming service. They're going to hold on to this. They're backing Christopher Nolan and his star power and saying, this is something we have to release in theaters. So
I would agree with that, though. I think if there's any director where you're like, what is the movie theater experience? You've got to throw Christopher Nolan in there.
He's IMAX, to a T. They even, in this new trailer, they were like, from the visionary director of The Dark Knight.
Yeah.
So, yeah, of course.
And they're going to have a good score, too. It's the guy that he's some Swedish composer. You'll never see a good American composer, I feel like. It's always going to be a German composer. No. It's Hans Zimmer. Hans Zimmer is not doing this because he is doing Dune, or was doing Dune when this was being filmed.
Gotcha. All right.
So, yeah.
So a new trailer for more Space Force. Not really much to say about this other than John Malkovich is being a dick to Steve Carell, and Steve Carell's out of his depth. I don't know. This is coming next Friday. I can't wait for this. This is probably going to be a review next week. We're going to have to just take it all to the face. I don't know. I'm really excited for this. I feel like it's been a long time since we've had a good new comedy series outside. And that's not true because we did Dave. Dave was amazing.
Dave was really good. Mm-hmm.
Maybe I just need more comedy in my life. I don't know. I won't waste any more time on that. Did you watch the trailer for Defy Bloods?
I did. I liked it a lot too.
I'm very intrigued by this. So this is a movie that's coming to Netflix on June 12th. This is directed by Spike Lee, who the last thing he did, I believe, was Black Klansman, which was one of my favorite movies of 2018. Basically, this is looking back at Vietnam, and you're looking back at Black Vietnam War veterans, 5 guys who returned to Vietnam, I think, to collect treasure they had like 50 years ago. And it's kind of a flashback to their roots. You know, like a lot of guys got drafted when they were 18 years old to go to Vietnam without really knowing what the conflict was. And that's going to be a central theme of this movie. Like, my dad was in Vietnam. He got a draft letter on his 18th birthday. And a lot of people are really unhappy about the war. And there's a whole political aspect behind it, and Nixon and all this other shit. So I'm very interested in the topic. So I'm pretty excited to see what we're going to get out of this. Can you not hear me now? Great. I'll just keep carrying this. As far as I know, my audio is still through. There you go. You're back. Fuck. My audio is still here. You're having some real issues today. The one day that Brick is not here to carry us. And there goes Mark. Okay. Well, I'll just keep talking because everybody wants to see my giant face. Can you see how long my hair is right now? This is the longest I've gone without a haircut since high school. And the only reason I didn't get, oh Jesus, that looks terrible. The only reason I kept going a long time without getting a haircut in high school is because my mom kept telling me to get a haircut. Sorry, Will, I know you're bald. I can't help it. Basically at that point in my life, when I was like 17, 18 years old, I was telling my mom, if you keep telling me to get a haircut, I'm not going to cut my hair. And so then I lasted like 2 years without cutting my hair, and I looked like a complete idiot just out of spite. So here we are. Okay. I'm going to wait for Mark to hop back in, but until then, I guess he wanted me to watch a trailer for a movie called The King of Staten Island. So this is a Judd Apatow movie, and it's starring Pete Davidson. I saw Bill Burr in there. I saw Steve Buscemi in there, and it kind of just looks like Pete Davidson's come up is just kind of ridiculous right now. Like, he came from SNL and he started dating like super pop stars and models and shit. And he's funny, don't get me wrong, but he's just like the weirdest looking guy. And I know that I don't have a whole lot of room to talk there, but I don't get it. I don't get the appeal for it other than just he's funny. And maybe that's it. And maybe that's fine. And okay, more power to you. Proud of you, Pete Davidson, because I actually think he's very funny. But anyways, King of Staten Island is basically Pete Davidson. Pete Davidson is a guy who's like 25 years old, and his father died. His father was a firefighter, and he still lives with his mother, and he can't basically get out from under his mother's roof. I think Mark is texting me right now. Yeah, he's texting me. Hold up. I'm not going to hold up because we're live. He's trying to get out from under his mother's roof, and everybody's telling him what a failure he is and shit. And his mom starts dating a new firefighter who is Bill Burr, which is, I'm already in for this because Bill Burr is one of the funniest people on the planet. But basically, the story is turning a lazy, weed smoking all day Pete Davidson into an actual functioning human being who at this point is a firefighter. At first he's like, no, why would I ever want to do that? And Bill Burr's like, well, why don't you fucking make something of yourself? Which kind of has a good point. But I don't know. This looks interesting. I think it's coming to Netflix. No, am I making that up? I don't have that in my notes. But oh, hey, Azrael. Mark left me alone, so I'm literally carrying this by myself, and I'm just rambling, so I'm just going to keep going. But anyways, that's The King of Staten Island. I'm pretty excited to see that, actually. It's a Judd Apatow film. What do you have to lose? Okay, let's talk about some actual news. And let's see. On Wednesday, no, I can't do this without Mark. We're talking about the Snyder Cut. He's got to be here. Will, I'm going to send you a link to this chat, and I'm going to expect you to hop in just because I'm here alone, and you're going to hop in this chat. While I do that, I'm going to talk about basically Apple beefing up its streaming service. So nobody really has Apple Plus, but people still talk about it for some reason. I think Brick is literally the only person I know that actually has Apple Plus, but they're doing poorly from a financial aspect. But they're also looking now to buy up non-Apple series and movies to beef up their catalog. So the most recent movie that they bought is the upcoming Tom Hanks movie called Greyhound. And this is basically a submarine-based movie, which I don't really have a ton of interest in. But again, here we are. I think this is most interesting just because Apple is a streaming service that not a ton of people have, right? And for them to put what is reportedly $70 million into this singular movie for what is expected to not be a very wide base of consumers is very odd to me. I don't really understand it, but I guess my biggest concern is now that lesser streaming services are going to start buying things up, and they're not going to be available to the general public. You know, like unless you have HBO Max, Peacock, which is NBC's service, you know, a billion other things, Disney Plus. Disney Plus, I think, is more ubiquitous than most things. But I don't know. It's to me, this just seems like a real stretch for them. You know, like it's. Will, I just sent you a link. Yes, Elise is in the chat, and she says this is the episode where I realized that Smithers, Brick, and Mark were never really real. Yes, I'm actually losing my mind. This is some kind of fucked up Donnie Darko without the rabbit. Mark can't figure out how to work a computer, and Brick is somewhere in the mountains doing peyote. So who knows? Once, I don't know. I'm just going to keep rambling, I guess. Oh, shit. Hey, handsome.
Howdy done.
You're very quiet. If you could turn your audio up, that would be great. Did you just move into this wherever you live, right? Like today?
This is the bunker.
You are very bare right now.
Look at the cord. It's the Ethernet cord.
You need to turn your audio up if you're going to stay here. Crank up that input. Anyways, I'm gonna keep going because this is a show and we have to keep moving and we can't just wait for Mark. Okay.
You gotta entertain the people.
Your hair looks great today, by the way.
Thank you. Been growing it out for a few months.
Of course you have. All right. Let's see. Here, this might interest you, Will. Are you a Game of Thrones guy?
I was at one point.
Obviously. So Peter Dinklage and Jason Momoa have signed on to do a movie called The Good, the Bad, and the Undead. And this is basically a buddy comedy about a descendant of Van Helsing. So obviously Helsing is like the most famous vampire hunter to ever live. And that's Peter Dinklage. And he teams up with a pacifist vampire who is played by Momoa. And they basically are going to go around and scam townsfolk just because they can. So just because Momoa's vampire is like a pacifist, he's not interested in killing people. And obviously, if you got the name Helsing, you go around like charging people to get rid of your vampire problem. So this is going to be the entire plot for this movie. I'll watch this any day.
It's a Game of Thrones movie?
No, it's a vampire movie.
I'm just fucking with you.
I'm regretting inviting you into this. I'm going to kick you out of the stream if you don't step it up. Also, please turn your mic up, you idiot.
I did. I have a poop mic.
Well, then talk louder.
I gotta yell at you.
Secret lab chair, you doofus. Your dresser looks like it's from the 1930s.
This is the bunker. This is not a room.
Okay, fair enough. Let's talk about Ruby Rose, who basically made her exit. She is just stepping away from the role of Batwoman on the CW, and the general population is basically just like, what? Who? What? Who?
Yeah.
I assume that you've never seen an episode of Batwoman.
I have not.
That puts you into the general population because I don't think anybody gave a shit about this movie or this TV show. I'm sorry. And Ruby Rose, not the best actress. I know that's mean to say, but it's just, I never really saw her in something and was like, oh my God, I need to see her in more things. She was
John Wick.
She was in John Wick 2, and she
Triple
was
X.
yes, and she was deaf, or I'm sorry, she was deaf and mute in John Wick. So basically,
That's how you know you're a good actress.
Exactly.
Don't say anything.
Yeah, so that's a good start. Probably not. It's just interesting that after a season, she's just basically like, fuck this, I'm out. And they're going to bring somebody else in. I don't know who's going to want to step into this. There's rumors that Stephanie Beatriz, who plays Rosa Diaz in Brooklyn Nine-Nine, wants to be Batwoman. So she is, I believe, oh God, I hope I'm not messing this up. I believe she identifies as bisexual, which Cassandra Cain is a lesbian in, like, I don't know, comic lore.
Batwoman is actually?
Yes.
Okay.
So I guess that would kind of make sense, and it's good for representation, but I don't know. We'll see.
How long has this show been on the air?
It's one season deep.
Okay, and she's like, fuck this.
So not great that your star wants to exit literally after one season.
Well, didn't Ben Affleck do that? He made one
no,
movie.
I mean, that was technically a movie and a half, really.
Yeah. Maybe
But
Batman's just cursed now. People only want to stick around for a little bit.
I mean, she has to be getting paid good money to do this, though.
Right.
I can't really understand what it would be unless she's just like, wow, this script is so fucking bad.
Yeah, maybe it got worse. She's season 2 script. She's like, ugh. I don't know about that.
All right, let's talk about Scream 5. So this is coming, whether you want it or not. And David Arquette is reprising his role as Dewey Riley. So this was going to be the point where Mark came in and talked about Mainframe Comic Con 2.0, which is next weekend. So while he was going to pontificate on that, I was going to pull up our guest list. And I guess I'll just do this now.
Yeah, go for it.
Mark really leaving me high and dry. But anyways, Will, we have all these amazing guests that are coming to Mainframe Comic Con 2.0 next weekend, which is May. I have to look up the dates, the 30th and the 31st. So obviously we were just talking about John Wick. Lance Reddick is going to be a major guest. Jeff Garland, who I find hilarious. You would know him from
Jeff's autograph?
Goldbergs. I mean, he's been around forever. He's a huge stand-up comedian, whatever. There's David Arquette. You can see he's going to be the star of Scream 5. David Dastmalchian loved us so much in the last iteration that he's coming back. We've got way more people. John Noble, you'd recognize him from Lord of the Rings. Lloyd Kaufman is hilarious. He's the head of Troma Entertainment. Just an overall funny guy. Lisa Emery, I'm going to struggle watching because I hate her so much in Ozark. But she's such a good actress, and that's the sign of a good actress, is that you can actually care whether they're there or not. We've got Dan Fogler, who you'd recognize from Balls of Fury and also the Fantastic Beasts series. I wanted to point out just a couple more. I won't go through the entire list, I promise, but we've got some Mad TV alums, Mo Collins and Nicole Sullivan, who basically framed my childhood. Like, you would watch Mad TV because it came on at 10 p.m. on Fox. Saturday Night Live wouldn't start until 10:30, and you would flip back and forth once 10:30 hit, and just between Saturday Night Live and Mad TV, and you've got like Mo Collins played Stewart's mom. She was in Parks and Rec. She's an excellent actress. Nicole Sullivan is obviously hilarious. And then the only other two that I'll mention before I move on, I promise, are these two, which is Dana DeLorenzo and Ray Santiago from Ash vs. Evil Dead. I don't know if you were a fan of Ash vs. Evil Dead, Will.
I thought that was Borat.
Yeah, no, it's not. The mustache is kind of a giveaway, but no. I actually love this show. It's basically a spinoff of not only Evil Dead, but basically Army of Darkness, really, because it's like Evil Dead 1 is more serious. Evil Dead 2 kind of gets a little campy, and then you get to Army of Darkness, which is the third installment, and Bruce Campbell goes full on camp. And this is more of a spinoff of Army of Darkness, where it's fully campy. It's still super gory, and there's zombies and shit. But I loved the show. Unfortunately, it got canceled after like 3 or 4 seasons, I think. But anyways, I'm very excited for this. Please tune in. You can check out mainframecomiccon.com, at MFComicCon on Twitter and Instagram. Oh my God, is Mark back?
Hold on. All right. It's better.
All right, I'll kick you off then.
All right.
Uh-oh. So, Mark.
Go ahead.
Yep.
What's up, Will?
Super quiet. Will was nice enough to step in while you were probably taking whatever you were doing. I don't know.
Thanks for saving the show.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Literally, I can never depend on Mark. I have to pull in either Brick or Will or somebody else.
I'm sorry we couldn't save you in D&D like you saved the show today.
That's okay. Maybe my new character.
You should have rolled. I mean, it's your fault.
Well, I paid somebody to keep me alive. She ignored me. She was like, "Fuck you."
She was an NPC.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? Mark, before I move on, do you have anything to say about Ruby Rose stepping down as Batwoman?
No, because I don't watch any of those CW shows, and I frankly just didn't really care that much. But I don't want to speak out of place, and because I heard some things about maybe it was just because she was like having some tough personal life things going on. But I don't know. I didn't. Yeah, I didn't read any of the articles just because I didn't really care that much. So I don't know.
Okay, fair enough. All right. I'm going to ask the both of you about the Snyder Cut. And Mark, I'll let you go first because apparently just like droves of virgin fanboys on Twitter went nuts when HBO Max announced that they're going to get a copy of the Snyder Cut, which I think is honestly, I first of all, I denied that it even existed. So I was wrong. Mm-hmm. Hands up, I was wrong. But also, I think that this has since been edited, and Zack Snyder's out here like, yeah, I'll put something together. They revealed today like the actor that played Darkseid. So apparently Darkseid's in this. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I've never been a Snyder fanboy. I've never really cared about release the Snyder Cut and all that movement shit that was going on. I think we can both say though we were wrong, unless you're sticking to your gun, Smithers, and just are going to think they're going to throw in an extra like 15 minutes of bullshit. But if this is a completely different movie, then we were wrong because we both thought this was a bunch of bullshit.
But it has to be a completely different and actually good movie.
I think it is still bullshit, right?
I mean, why would they put it on their release slate?
This got so much like hype on social media. It's like, oh, they're actually doing it, and it's just HBO is making money.
But I mean, think of how many incels have signed up for HBO Go, HBO Max already, just because of this. Like, this is brilliant marketing.
Right? No, I'm saying it's smart of them for sure to capitalize on it.
Whatever you did, you sound infinitely better now. So I was going to kick you off, but now you're good.
My settings. It was I was talking through this before.
Okay, Bricketto, you want to spew about VR some more?
Not really. I have one game. It's mostly for movies.
Is it just Beat Saber?
Yeah, Beat Saber.
Or is it the thing that you were jerking off to when I was trying to get you to play GTA with me?
Yeah, Beat Saber.
So Azriel is saying they are giving him money to finish what he started. So I assume they is Warner Brothers.
Well,
so he's getting more money to
of HBO. So I don't know. We'll see. I still like it would have to be basically an entirely different movie for it to be any good at all, right? Justice League was like the first time I watched it, I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad. I've had zero urge to rewatch it, but I still have rewatched it, and then I was like, oh,
it was bad.
Yeah,
it was bad.
It was like a 6 out of 10.
That might be generous. I got texts from people earlier this week, like Dennis, who's been on the show, was texting me and was like, oh my God, the Snyder Cut. I'm just like, I can't get excited for this.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to obviously get a completely different movie, because it's not like we're going to have Batfleck coming back and Momoa back in the Aquaman suit and them reshooting this movie. That's not happening. So they're going to be using a lot of the original JL footage, but I just think, according to Snyder and all these release the Snyder Cut guys that are all over Twitter, I guess there is a lot of footage out there that Snyder was not able to use, or they didn't allow him to use. So
if that's the case, like, unless it's an entirely different movie, I guess that's my point. It's still going to be the same derivative bullshit.
Yeah, I think I would agree. Once it's all done, after watching it, the only way I'll say, okay, that was a different cut, that was a different movie, is if there's either and new characters, a different outcome to the ending, or something just really big and drastic has to happen throughout the story. You know, I just
want to see Dark Side.
Yeah, I just don't want to see just extra footage of Aquaman doing other crazy shit. You know, boy, that's what I'm afraid of.
I'm really sorry to break this to you, but that's exactly what it's going to be.
All right.
What's the best case scenario for this?
Man, that's a great question. The best case scenario, I think, is that they have so much unreleased footage, like the entire portion of the argument was Snyder's bit was so dark and gritty, and then what's his face came in and took over. I can't even think of his name right now. Mark, can you help me out here?
Josh Whedon. Josh Whedon.
Thank you. Yeah. He came in and took it over and basically lightened the entire thing up, and there were more jokes and everything, and it wasn't taken as seriously.
It was more of a Marvel movie.
Yeah, pretty much, which that's what Joss Whedon's famous for. That and like Buffy, which is, you know, historically more comedic, I guess. Azrael's in the chat, and he says that Kevin Smith says that in the Snyder version that Batman died, which would have been a good out for Ben Affleck. I don't know if that's actually true, and
they killed him off.
But
like Ruby Rose,
what are they going to do with that? Are they just going to be like, oh, hey, here's a girl who looks completely different now?
I feel like that happens.
They did it in
secondary characters, but not usually the main character.
Did you say they did it in Thor?
Yeah.
No, Hulk.
Yeah.
Oh, wasn't Natalie Portman, her character, still technically in like a couple of the other Thor movies? Or was that a
like
completely
CGI, or they just reused it?
They never really like killed her character. Like Jane Foster was still always Jane Foster, and it was always Natalie Portman. They just didn't really ever use her. And apparently she's coming back. Thor 4: more Thor.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm wrong. I thought Jane Foster was played by a different actress after the first Thor movie, when Portman decided to stop.
All right. I'm going to play a drop and take a piss. Mark, you know what to do.
Best.
We the best!
Worst.
The worst! She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank. Terrible, but thank you.
What's up, Will?
Not too much, man. I was saying I've been on this show I think 3 or 4 times, and you've never been on it with me.
I know, that is true. The first time you were on it was like 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, you guys were still doing comics.
Yeah, didn't we make you read a comic or something?
Yeah, it was Midnighter
and Apollo.
Yeah,
I think
it was an interesting comic. You guys should have made me do Watchmen.
I don't think Smithers has ever read Watchmen.
Wow, he says he likes comics.
He's a fucking noob.
Little hater.
Dude, how pissed are you about your character in D&D though?
It happens. It's part of the game. 5% chance. Sometimes you get lucky. I feel like
anyone have a chance of saving you?
Yeah, there was a full turn of everybody going and letting me die, but it is what it is.
You had a crit fail.
Yeah,
which
5% chance. Yeah, it is what it is.
Well, I don't want to ruin anything, but Graham was Flennis the entire time.
I
So
knew that.
No, you do.
I said Flennis the Menace was the big bad evil, and then I said that the first time we met her. I also gave her that name. I wouldn't have shot her though. That wouldn't have been in character.
How did we even get here? I left for like 30 seconds.
Me and Mark were talking about how you've never read Watchmen.
Well, that's inherently untrue.
I was basically just trying to divert the segment because I don't have a best man alive. And I haven't talked to Will since he was destroyed in D&D.
Yeah, I went AFK to deal with my emotions.
Okay. I guess I will save this segment as normal. Maybe Netflix is the best company alive. Have you guys heard this? They're basically announcing, or they announced on Thursday, that they're going to start canceling accounts of users who have not watched anything on the platform for a year since their join date, as well as anybody who hasn't used their service at all in 2 years. So they're going to send these subscribers emails and say like, hey, we're going to cancel your account and stop taking your money. I feel like that's very out of character for just big business, especially in tech.
Yeah. Why are they doing that?
To be good people. I honestly don't know. It doesn't make sense from a business standpoint because you're assuredly cutting down your revenue. And I honestly, I think it's kind of just like a PR move.
Yeah. I wonder what the active amount of, like, how many users are actually going to get terminated because of that.
There is zero chance that they don't already know the number.
For sure. Like,
they have actuaries and people who look into this from the jump and say, like, this is what it's going to cost us, but this is what we're going to get basically based on good PR.
Yeah.
So,
but we'll never see that number.
I still think it's like it's
probably in the thousands.
It's a good thing for them to do, right?
Yeah.
Other
companies should do that for me so I could be better with my money.
Zero chance. Cancel your Spotify and your Pornhub premium and whatever else it is that you buy. Just cancel them.
Just it's the free trials that get you. You want
That's how I ended up paying like $75 to Audible. Like I signed up for the free trial because I wanted to listen to a couple books, and they kept telling me like, oh, you've got so many free credits, please don't leave. And I was like, okay, fine, I won't leave. And then eventually I was just like, I'm not ever going to listen to another fucking audiobook.
Do you feel like Audible is cheating being a smart person? Like you can pretend that you read, but you really don't.
I don't honestly see the difference between reading a book and listening to an audiobook. I feel like if you're a person who can consume the information in the same way, that it's not any different.
The same.
Honestly, usually it's me listening to something that I've already read just because I really liked it. The Harry Potter books come to mind. The guy that they have narrating the Harry Potter books is fucking amazing, and his name is escaping me at the moment. But I've read those twice through, I think, and just like to have.
Daniel Radcliffe is narrating them for Spotify.
Really?
Yes.
Awesome. I mean, he's got the super British accent. That's all you need.
They're going to keep doing this. Spotify's fucking killing it in the podcast department, in the audiobook department. They're going to just run Apple out of fucking all their users that are and all their podcast shows that are on there, because they're just grabbing everyone right now and signing them up for multi-year deals like Rogan.
You guys talked about Rogan already?
We haven't, but that happened earlier this week. I'm a full disclosure, I'm a Spotify shareholder. I will be very interested to see what they actually paid him in the deal, because they will have to release that. They are publicly traded. I don't
20 million?
200, I heard.
Really?
That's insane. I mean, that is the biggest podcast. You know, like they already took one of the other podcasts I listened to, the last podcast on the left, and obviously they're much smaller, but they're still huge. They have a huge fan base. They published a book. They have, merchandise and shit.
They have a big network. of different podcasts too.
They do, and I'm just waiting for Spotify to call us and be like, "Yo, what's up?"
Yeah, you guys need your check.
I would take a very small check.
What number would it take for you guys to sell out? Just full sellout. Only Spotify.
$2,000.
$2,000. We'll split it.
Verizon. I got no problem selling out, dude. We live in a capitalist economy. I have zero issues with this.
Well, I think for Joe Rogan, it's interesting because he's trading like his platform for money. So, I mean, if you guys were talking to 200 million downloads a week, maybe you'd feel differently.
I don't see an issue with what he's doing though.
No, neither do I. Get your bag.
And that's always what Joe Rogan's been about. And I don't think that he has any issue, for lack of a better term, selling out.
Yeah. And
he shouldn't.
We'll see what the numbers are.
Most of the guys he has on his show now are kind of idiots. I don't know. He gives a platform to some people who I don't necessarily agree with, which is fully his right. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. Their opinions, I guess, deserve to be heard, even if they are morons and they believe that the Earth is flat. I don't know. I don't know.
Bravo.
You said it, not me. I think he's, yeah.
Well, that was pretty obvious.
A fucking idiot.
Yeah, I think there's probably in the course of the whole show, there's been maybe 2 people that have said the Earth is flat, and one of them is Bravo. So
when your argument literally look into it, yeah, you fucking lost me, dude.
You really looked into it.
Yeah. I have another best man alive, so I'll just carry this segment too. Ron Jeremy, porn icon, big dick slayer, icon of tripod, like idol of tripod, just a brilliant man for all of his work. Not because of the sex thing, because he is hoping to save a tree that was planted by his father on the day that he was born in Queens. So he's taking to Twitter to say, I need all of you people to come and tell Con Ed, who is the electricity provider in this area, please don't chop down this tree. It means a lot to me, whatever. I'm all about saving trees. Ron Jeremy hiding a log in his pants, obviously. Best man alive.
I'm going to disagree.
Was that the joke, hiding a log in his pants?
Yeah, that was
trees,
all
logs?
set up for that.
I mean, I wasn't even really looking for the joke. Ron Jeremy's doing something cool to save a tree.
Hiding a log in his pants.
Yes.
Okay. So, Will, before we start our movie review, I'm going to ask you, did you actually watch this movie?
No, I have no idea what you guys are even reviewing.
That's fair. I'm not mad about it because you came in and kind of saved me, even though I was just talking to you. I basically just invited you so that I wasn't talking to myself.
You were running out of things to say. You needed a springboard.
My friend, I will never run out of things to say. I could say things forever. I will never run out of things to say. But it was nice to have a big bald face staring at me while I was saying things. You don't have to stay. You're welcome to, obviously.
No, I'll go back to lurking.
No, you don't have to do that.
What are you doing, by the way, Will? Are you gaming? Are you playing something right now?
Oh, I was just chilling. I was lurking in the chat, enjoying my favorite book, since audio is the same thing as a book.
What's the name of this game that you're playing? Crucible?
Yeah, that's the best game ever.
Give me your fucking review and then get out of here.
See, this is tricky because my actual review is that it's trash, but I've been trying to convince you guys to download it just to waste your time.
No interest.
Wow.
So this is the game that Amazon released that is basically Apex Legends, except it's 4v4.
No. All right.
So they ripped off a bunch of characters from other properties.
It's like Overwatch, but on a map that's way too big. And you have to kill little like alien guys to level up. And then eventually you fight each other. It's pretty bad. There's like so when you die, you just like you don't like fall down or anything. Your character just like goes like stands still until it respawns you back into the game because there's just no animation for it. So Amazon's been spending their money wisely.
It's almost like Amazon doesn't have any money to spend.
Yeah, you'd think they'd be able to put out some sick games, but we'll see.
But how many hours have you put into this game?
Oh,
so
like
far?
one.
Maybe you'll maybe put in 2 total.
I've seen your Discord name, and I've seen playing Crucible next to it like a lot.
All right, so again, this is how the sausage gets made, but you can set custom Discord away messages, so I made it look like I was playing it for a long time to entice you guys to come download it.
You thought about how you're going to lure us in, didn't you?
I wanted Smithers to download it and Frank, and then once everybody was in to be like, haha, I got you, this game's terrible.
I'm not burning that space on my hard drive.
Well, now you're not. I ruined it. I ruined the fun surprise.
I was never going to. Are we gonna play some GTA heists after this?
We could play.
Okay.
I need to re-download everything, which will probably take 2 days. So I'm probably out.
See you in 2 days.
Breaking your computer.
Yeah.
What'd you do to it?
I built this thing for you, this beautiful machine, and you just keep fucking it up.
Well, I'm going to download everything to my external like Seagate drive that I have right here because
that is a horrible idea.
Why?
You will not be able to run any game off of an external hard drive.
I do it.
That's a terrible.
I'm running Metal Gear Solid off of it.
Ooh, which one? Yeah. Now you're talking.
Terrible idea. Put it on your fucking
Phantom Pain
drive.
Oh, nice. Have you beat it before?
It's making a sound like this. So
that's not your PCI Express slot. That's something else.
And I'm trying to overclock it too on my external drive.
You don't even know what that means.
He's overclocking it, baby.
Right. Anyways, let's talk about this fucking movie so we can actually go play video games. Yeah.
I feel like this is the longest episode, and I've only been on it for like 20 minutes.
You were gone for half an hour,
dude. It was like
it was kind of bad. It was kind of bad.
It was so bad.
I'm just saying that because it was only me talking.
It's like somebody was flicking my earlobe.
Kind of shit.
Oh, Mark's audio, great.
Yes,
that'll be fun to edit. Anyways, let's talk about the Lovebirds, which is a movie that just released on Netflix.
He doesn't even want to review it.
I watched this with my wife. Mark, did you do the same?
I did. Yes, I watched it with Kelly.
What did your wife think? I think that's the most important thing. First of all, my wife absolutely loved it. She thought that it was really funny, and also she kept pointing out all of the things that the main characters did that basically we do the same. Like all the parallels. She was like, "Oh, that's you, which I can't really deny." So, what about you?
I don't think Kelly liked it as much. It was fine. She was just not invested as much as you guys were probably. She thought there were definitely some fun parts. Their banter, they had some hilarious moments. The story was your typical like romantic comedy. This one was a little bit more interesting because there is a murder case involved. Kind of reminded me of Game Night a little bit. But overall, the movie was fine. The movie was fine.
Fine. Okay. I actually really liked it. And I think it's probably a product of the fact that we haven't had anything good for such a long time. Extraction was really good, but basically coming off of Capone last week, I just needed to wash the taste of that out of my mouth because that was such a piece of shit movie, and it's going to be the worst movie of 2020. As much as I love Tom Hardy, that movie fucking blew. So here we are.
It was bad.
Erica absolutely loved it. My wife.
My
wife is very rare. Usually she's just like, no, fuck you. I'm going to watch my garbage TV while you watch whatever it is that you're going to do. She's been watching this show called Southern Charm. Mark, I assume you're familiar with this. It's on Bravo.
Oh yeah, I watched season 1 through 7. I'm a big reality TV buff.
Yeah, Erica likes good shows. Like what was that one on Netflix? The Box, the Room. What was it?
The one with like all the single people, and
they can like catfish each other. They're like in the rooms,
Yeah.
but they never see each other.
Mark definitely watched it. What's the name of that show?
I didn't watch that one, but I know exactly what you're talking about, Will.
Yeah, Erica showed me that.
I don't believe that he didn't watch it, but whatever. Anyway, she's been watching Southern Charm, and basically these people are all from South Carolina, and they're all stupid rich because their parents gave them trust funds. One of them was a gubernatorial candidate, I believe, and he's like a multimillionaire, but he's a convicted felon because he had a bunch of blow. Like it was like possession with intent to distribute. And he's like fit in his mid 50s, and he knocked up like a 22-year-old twice. The same woman twice. Anyway.
Oh, you're just getting started, aren't you? You look like you're enjoying it.
I've had watch a lot of this. So my wife is very pregnant, right? So I want to be near her, and like I want to help her with whatever she needs. I want to, get her water when she needs it. I want to help her when she's uncomfortable.
What a simp.
Yeah, basically. I'm simping for my wife, who is extremely pregnant, because I love her. And yeah, that involves me watching a lot of garbage TV, and I fucking hate these people so much. I just, that feeling you get when you can tell when somebody has never been punched in the face, and that is all of these people. And also you can tell, you can just tell by their voices that they definitely say the N-word all the time when they're not on camera. They're just fucking horrible people. Anyway,
that's the litmus test.
Lovebirds. I don't know what else to say about this.
Just derail you further.
You're doing a really good job of that. Anyways, all right. So this is released on Netflix yesterday. Currently at 66% on Rotten Tomatoes, 53% from fans, which I think is a little bit harsh. But I guess we can get into that. So this is directed by Michael Showalter, who is a stand-up comedian. I'm sure that you've seen some of his work. He's a very funny man. He does a lot of production now. He's kind of getting out of stand-up. He did game shows for a little bit, but that's his thing. This is starring Issa Rae and Kumail Nanjiani, who are both very funny people.
I like him.
I feel like they had very good chemistry, and I mean, from the jump, like it opens up on a very, I guess, mushy scene. They are very in love with each other, and like from the jump, and basically it cuts forward, I think, 3 years to them where they're like, okay, now I'm fucking sick of you because I've had to deal with you for this long. Then they are introduced to a scenario where somebody gets murdered, and it sends them down this path where they have to realize, like, okay, maybe life isn't so bad with you, blah, blah, blah. Mark, do you have any other thoughts on this?
This sounds good. I'm going to go watch this.
Watch it. It's really good.
Yeah, if you want to go see a romantic comedy, definitely go watch this. I didn't really have a problem with it. I didn't think it was like the best thing to come out in the last few months.
Go ahead.
No, it's Kumail Nanjiani did great. Yes, I agree. Their chemistry was on par. It was believable. There were a lot of moments in the movie that just make you smile, like when they're singing Katy Perry Firework, things like that in the Uber. Just funny things, and I wouldn't recommend watching this if you just broke up with a girlfriend or boyfriend, because this is all about like the success of having troubles, but then working through them, even if shit really goes bad. It was good though. That's all I got. It was fine.
Well, in the absence of Bricketto being here, I asked him for his notes on the movie because he was a big fan. He was texting me all day yesterday. He was like, I love this movie so much. I thought it was so good. I'm going to do my best Bricketto impression. Hang on, let me smoke a bong. All right, I'm back. It's great chemistry between the two leads. Just fucking amazing. Just so good. Interesting. And Story and direction. Funny one-liners. See it.
It's gonna be huge.
Or because they went to Italy. That's my kind of impression.
That was a Trump Burketto
Yeah, that
impression.
wasn't your best work.
What's the difference? Honestly, I think they're the same person. Anyways, I really like this movie. I thought it was excellent. I was looking for something to watch with my wife. She's pregnant.
My wife.
To get her to sit through something is very rare at this point, and she was a big fan of this. So if this is something that like if you're looking at Netflix and chill and just kind of like hang out and watch a movie. Wait, does that mean sex? Probably don't. Yes. Netflix and chill. If you actually want to watch a movie and chill, it's pretty good. It's funny. I love Kumail Nanjiani, and Issa Rae kind of won me over. I didn't recognize her from anything else, but she was very good in this movie. She had some very funny plot points, and her kink actually kind of made me laugh like a lot. So that was very good. There was one other guy that I recognized from this, and his name is Moses Storm. And
is that the guy from House of Cards?
I've never seen House of Cards.
What?
Shit. I've told you this like so many times.
Oh man.
You're a pop culture podcast host. You haven't seen House of Cards?
I cannot have possibly seen literally everything. Okay.
Have you seen Breaking Bad yet?
Yes, I've seen Breaking Bad like 3 times.
Did you skip Harry Potter?
I'm thinking of Paul Sparks. That's who I'm thinking of.
That's not who I'm talking about. Anyways, he was in a TV show with a guy, Cal Penn, who is Kumar from Harold and Kumar.
Okay.
So he did a TV show with him on ABC, I think. Anyways, he was like one of the frat boys. That's how I recognized him. But anyways, this movie I thought was extremely funny. There are a lot of great one-liners. It's absolutely worth a watch, especially considering what we've had recently, which is basically nothing unless you want to watch Capone. This week, I'm definitely going to watch Scoob. So maybe the bar will raise a little bit. I don't know. But Will, do you have anything to say about this movie that you haven't seen?
I like Kumail Nanjiani, and now that I know what movie you guys are talking about, I do want to see it.
You absolutely should. It's very funny. And asking, are you filming on the set of a snuff film?
All right. I moved my computer in this room because it's empty, because I got a VR headset. And I'm going to go do this stuff.
I don't know if that really answers the question, but sure. All right.
Hey, Will, fun fact. I have the same tank top that you have. Did you get it on Venice Boardwalk in California? Did you go lift at Venice Beach afterwards?
I walked for 3 hours from, not 3 hours, I'm exaggerating, Santa Monica to Venice Beach, and it was closed last summer for renovations.
Really?
That's great. You guys should like get together and kiss.
It's 2020, Ryan. Don't be so
Mark looks like
it's probably good that they close that though, because I've worked out there and all the weights are like super rusty.
Really?
Definitely, if you haven't had a tetanus shot, you will get tetanus and probably die if you go work out there.
I got the protein shake at the stand outside.
Oh yeah, I know exactly.
Yeah,
you are so grainy right now. You look like shit.
Are you talking to me?
Life together. Yes, I'm talking to you. Will looks great. I can see literally my reflection.
See the white in my beard.
Wait, I'm super grainy.
Opinion on this. This is a random question. How do you feel about me dyeing my beard blonde? Like Donald Glover.
I'm here for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why not?
Come the end of quarantine when it's like this big.
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
Cool.
Okay. So Mark, I'm going to give you one last chance to say something about Lovebirds before we move on to our recommendations.
It had a lot of defining moments, and it's definitely a movie that if you are in the mood for some romantic settings with your significant other.
Yeah, I'm gonna mute him. That was terrible. Shut up, Mark. It wasn't really that at all. It's just a dumb, stupid comedy. And watch it if you want to. Are you done now? Great. Let's do our recommendations for the week. Will, as you are our guest, I'm going to let you go first. What do you recommend? What have you been watching, doing, playing, whatever this week?
All right. My recommendations based on what I've been doing. I've been rewatching Community from the beginning. Seasons 1 through 3. Pretty fire. Starts to tape off that, but. And download Gwent. Get back into Gwent. Just came out on Steam.
I was never into Gwent. Even when I played through Witcher 3, I was like, this is so fucking dumb.
This is the best part of the game.
That's the best part of the game.
Yes.
You are a guy who carries a sword around and kills monsters, but the best part of the game is playing a card game within a game.
Witcher Season 2 on Netflix better have an episode where he plays Gwent. For at least 30 minutes.
Did you watch Season 1?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you think?
This is amazing.
Great. That's all I needed to hear. But also, shut up. You're wrong about Gwent.
I re-downloaded Witcher 1, which I had never played. And the combat is just so bad. You got to try it, though.
Free on Good Old Games right now.
Oh, really? I paid like $1 for it.
Idiot.
Tell me.
Moron. Yeah. I tried to play Witcher 2. I mean, even that is super outdated. Like your powers are just very toned down, and it's very dumb.
I got to send you a clip for Witcher 1. Like, the CG is just so bad.
Yeah, until we get Witcher 4, which I think is just going to be Ciri, which would be amazing. I would totally be here to like play that because I think they're done with Geralt. I think we're just kind of stuck with what we got. But
yeah, we're stuck with Cyberpunk, which should already be out.
Yes, which we would definitely be doing right now instead of doing this stupid podcast because to the brain right now. Mark, what do you recommend?
Better Call Saul season 4. And if you've seen Breaking Bad, I would highly recommend starting Better Call Saul if you haven't already. It's fucking awesome. It's not as good as Breaking Bad, but it is definitely pretty close where it is right now. And I bet they're going to come out with a few more seasons before it ends. But I'm enjoying the shit out of it. And then also a semi-recommendation. If you want to just turn off your brain and watch Terry Crews be Terry Crews, go watch John Henry on Netflix. I think that dropped like the other day or something. And Ludacris, by the way, is the worst. He's the worst villain. Like, he is not scary at all as like the main villain. It's so stupid.
Imagine that. Ludacris not being a good actor.
He was good on Hustle and Flow.
Not Hustle and Flow?
Wasn't he the rapper that he was trying to shop his tape to?
Maybe. Man, it's been like 15 years since I've seen that movie. It was really good, though.
Yeah.
It's not about his acting per se. It's just like I don't find him intimidating the slightest. Even if they like put a bunch of metal shit all over his face to make him look a little bit more intimidating.
I mean, I saw though. It just looks dumb as fuck. Like, I don't know. What do you even say?
It's pretty dumb.
Okay, fair enough. I watched a movie called The Wrong Missy, which is basically it's an Adam Sandler movie, which tells you everything you need to know about it. David Spade is the star of this movie, and Lauren Lapkus she's an actress where if you saw her, you'd be like, oh yeah, that's her. She's that girl. And she plays basically a psychopath that David Spade accidentally invites onto a vacation that is like a work retreat, and she's fucking up everything. And basically David Spade eventually realizes that he loves her, because that's every Adam Sandler movie ever. It's also shot on a beautiful island, because that's every movie that Adam Sandler makes now. He won't make it unless he's on.
He's a genius.
I would say that it's kind of funny. Like, you'll get a couple laughs out of it. You'll look at it and you'll be like, this is kind of dumb. This is cringeworthy. But also it's still, I would say, worth watching. It's free on Netflix if you have a Netflix subscription. it's fine. That's the best thing I can say about it. David Spade he looks terrible. Nick Swardson is in it, and he looks even worse. He looks as though he's been stung by a bee, like all around his face, which is very strange because he's like skinny from the neck down, but his face is just like.
I saw the preview for it. Yeah, he's blown up a little bit.
I hope he's doing okay because he's a really funny guy and he does great writing. I just hope that he's okay.
He might just be a little bloated. Like he might be eating too much sriracha or something. Who knows?
Water weight. Wait, is that a thing?
Drinking way too much.
Yeah, stop eating sodium, Will, and see what happens.
Whoa.
No, salt's
Just
too
cut out
much.
Sriracha.
Boil your chicken. Go to that extent where you can't even use like canola oil or olive oil because it has a little sodium in it.
Plain, flavorless, everything.
Do it.
No.
Egg whites
Right.
only.
Anyways, This has been episode 196 of the Chumpcast. Will, I got to thank you for jumping on. Do you want to plug anything? Do you want to plug your Twitch or anything?
Yeah, you guys should check out Pull the Lever. They're running a campaign with the coolest new character around coming out Wednesday.
Never heard
Coming
of
up
them.
next-
It's at
next
Paul the
episode.
Lever DM.
Yep.
So check that out on Twitter and Instagram. Check out Mainframe Comic Con 2.0, which is this upcoming Saturday, Sunday. Mainframecomiccon.com, at MF Comic Con on Instagram and Twitter. Mark, am I forgetting anything?
No, have you guys ever seen Waco on Netflix?
I have. I'm mostly familiar with that, honestly, because of the podcast I was talking about earlier with the last podcast on the left. They did a very encompassing series on what actually went on with Heaven's Gate. So if you're interested in that, check that out. And also, Waco is now on Netflix. It has what's the villain's name? He was the villain. He was Zod in Superman. You know who I'm talking about, Mark. I gotta look this
Yeah.
up.
Ludicrous.
Fuck, he's so good too. This is killing me. Anyway,
Oh, isn't what's his name in it too from True Detective season 3? He's like a good-looking dude. That dude ass. You know what I'm talking about? Dude ass is his name.
yeah, definitely he's dude ass.
Dude ass.
We're really good at remembering shit.
Hold on. No, it's not Steven Dorff. Where the fuck is
not Steven
not
Dorff.
True.
Steven Dorff
Detective-
was in True Detective season 3, but
No, True Detective season 2. I'm talking about. Of course, he's not on the cast. I don't know, and he's like one of the main characters. This is so stupid. Oh my god, this is gonna piss me off.
we are so good at being a movie podcast.
He kind of looks like Paul Walker, just a little bit.
What was the movie where the girl fucked the fish and they won an Oscar for it?
Oh, Merman. Aquaman.
No, that's not it either.
No, Guillermo del Toro.
We're so bad at this.
Taylor
Guillermo.
Kitsch. Sorry, that's the guy I'm thinking of. Isn't he in it in Waco?
Yes, he is, but that's not who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of the guy that played. Fuck, this is gonna drive me insane. The Shape of Water.
Shape of Water. I didn't Google it.
Guillermo del
Yeah.
Toro.
Michael Shannon. Michael Shannon was Zod.
Okay, Michael
That's
Shannon.
all
Yeah.
we got here. I've been drinking.
Shanahan. Yes.
Michael Shannon, you piece of shit. Anyways,
Shannon Sharp. Yeah.
why were we talking about Michael Shannon?
I don't know. He's in Waco.
Yes, he is. Thank you. That's what I was looking for. Oh my god, we are idiots.
Did you
Anyway.
guys,
Can we make this a
did you
bonus
guys
episode?
review the Last Dance?
We have not. I don't really know what do you say about that?
Did you find
Other
it
than
to be the
it was
best
amazing.
ever?
Yeah, it was pretty great. Do you remember when you watched it with your dad and you guys open mouth kissed?
Hmm.
You just
Yeah,
say
that was-
Isaiah Thomas is a loser and still a loser at the age of 65 or whatever.
If I ever met Isaiah Thomas, I would kick him in the nuts.
He's so lame. Just like, shut up, dude.
He's kind of a piece of-
his hand because the Celtics didn't shake our hands. Okay, dude.
he did some really bad things to women when he was the GM of the Knicks.
Yeah.
He's a piece of shit. Anyways, this has been episode 196 of the Chumpcast. Thank
I
you
want
for
to
tuning
apologize
in
to our listeners.
for this entire episode. Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Start to finish, just blanket it all.
Not because of you, Will. You saved it. You saved
No.
the
I would just added gasoline to the dumpster fire.
That's fair. This is what happens when Brick leaves for 1 week. I hope that he never listens to this because he'll be like, you guys need me.
He's going to ask for a raise.
I want to go to Italy.
Yeah.
He's a dork ass. Anyways, as always, you can find us on social media at the Chumpcast. You can also call or text us at 847-920-6107. You guys want to run some GTA heists?
Let's do
Let's
it.
fucking
That's
go.
pretty much the only thing my brain can process right now. So yes.
Your brain can't even process this. You're gonna be like, my audio is fucked. All right, let's go. We're done. Run the outro, Mark.
Chumps out. Mother. Cluck. This is gonna take me 20 minutes to figure out how to do this. Just the way this takes. All right. Chumps out, motherfuckers.